Popular in other neighborhoods. What do you think? What impact do you hope that his endorsement will have? And do you have any fears that it might cost you some votes in other neighborhoods?
No, I mean, I'd like to get the support of everybody in this city. And, Rudy, I've said this for 8 years. He left the city better than he found it. And he's given me some tools to build on it. And he built on what came before him. All mayors do that. Rudy was elected by the people twice and certainly has a great record in terms of bringing down crime and reducing a lot of welfare costs. And, the communities that like him, hopefully they'll come out and vote for him. But in the end, people will look at the record of a Bloomberg administration and decide whether they want 4 more years. And it's, endorsements are always nice, but in the end, it's the public is much smarter than that. They want good government, and they want government without politics, I think. And I think they want government that improves schools and brings down crime and creates affordable housing and gives our economy a future for the next 4 years. We all know these are going to be tough times.
Speaking of Prime Minister Mayor, Mayor Giuliani mentioned that he thought that the city could revert back to the, what he said, the bad old days pre-93 in terms of crime under a new administration. Do you share his concerns?
Oh, I think that our freedoms in this country are always under threat. And if you don't remember what happened 8 years ago on 9/11, if you don't read the papers about terrorist threats from around the world, and domestically, we all know that cities have gone through great boom times and then turned around and collapsed. To take a look at Detroit is as good an example of a city if you ever want to no, I think that was really because of economics as opposed to some other things. But Detroit went from a city where it was a great city with lots of good-paying jobs to a city that's basically holding on for dear life. All of our gains are always in danger of being turned around. I think a lot of the improvements we've made in the school system, you could go back to the bad old days very easily. A lot of the things that we've done were controversial. I think they've proven to be the right things, not everything, but most of the things. And certainly, if you were to turn those back, I think most experts, you could ask Arne Duncan to be a good person to ask. I think he would say that if you were to turn things around, the school system would revert to what it was before, which was basically a patronage mill. It was a school system that worked for the people that were employed there rather than the people it was supposed to serve, namely our children.
Mayor, to what extent are you trying, by appearing with Rudy Giuliani, trying to burnish your credentials with Republicans and maybe felt like you turned your back? You actually left
I'm
the
not
party.
trying to burnish my credentials with anybody. I'm trying to appear with everybody in the city who is supportive. Whether it was Cory Booker, who was just here with me, his endorsement was very nice, and Rudy's is very nice. I want endorsements. You're trying to make a political thing out of something that is plain and simple. Do we want to go forward with progress, or do you want to go back to the old days? And again, it's nice to have Rudy along. That's great. I'm happy to have his endorsement.
Are you concerned that Republicans won't come out as enthusiastically for you?
No, I think that both Republicans and Democrats and independents all are going to understand that if they stay home, like everybody seemed to, or certainly the Democrats did in the primary election, and particularly in the runoff, which was sort of a disgrace. People around the world, die for the right to vote. We send our young men and women overseas to fight and die for us to let us have the right, and then people don't exercise it. Their franchise. It's really a shame.
Mr. Mayor, do you think Hiram Monserrat should be booted from the state Senate?
I think what Hiram Monserrat did, according to the judge, is disgraceful, despicable, deplorable. But I'll leave that up to the Senate. I shouldn't be getting involved in their internal politics.
Speaking of politics, there was a report the other day which suggested that you might get involved or at least make a statement on the New Jersey governor's race.
I'm just going to stay out of any other race other than I've got my own race. Thank you very much. You had a question,
sir? I was going to follow up on Typhon's question and just ask if you thought New York City was served well by Hiram Monserrat in the state Senate.
I don't think he was there long enough to have really served the city in the Senate well. I knew him when he was a city councilman, and there on some things he did in the end vote in the interest, I think, of the city, and in other cases, no, but that was a long time ago, and I'd have to go back and look at the individual issues. I don't think he's been in Albany that long to really have much of an effect, and most of the time he was in Albany, it had to do with politics, not with voting on issues. They haven't voted on issues in a long time. Thank you.
Hey guys, thank you. The race in the 23rd congressional district. I know, even though it's New York,
I'm focusing on one race whatsoever only, and that's the race that we're having right here in New York City.
Thank you.